How's it going, summoners, and nice to see you for another ProGuides Wild Rift video. It's me again, and for today I'm going to show you the best bans for patch 2.4c. Just make sure to remove most of those champions in every game and you'll be happy after, so let's get to it. First up on this list is Camille. So what makes this champion so strong? Number 1, it's the ability to split and teamfight alike. By teamfight, I mean isolate a target in a teamfight and make a team able to shut it down. In addition to that, her mobility is insane. She can go over any wall in the game and run away from every problem there ever is and ever will be. Especially with the power of fleet footwork, she can basically play any lane and go at least even without breaking a sweat. However, not taking Conqueror will surely chip away from your potential to carry games. So why exactly do we ban this champion? Well, number 1, it's very obnoxious to play against. Every mid laner knows the story of a Camille jungle or a Camille Baron lane visiting the lane level 5. Then you get shut down by the Hextech ultimatum and you're dead shortly after. If that wasn't enough, she's also a perfect gank setup for any jungle. Thanks to her pristine mobility, from her third ability in combination with her second ability slow, she'll just hunt you down. And if that isn't enough, well, yet again, the Hextech ultimatum will do the trick. And if that still isn't enough to convince you to ban her, then think about her splitting the entire game. She'll get a Trinity Force and she'll beat up towers in seconds. And then if anyone comes close to her, she'll just say, well, I can kill you? Okay, then I'll kill you. And if I can't kill you, I'll just run away. And what exactly do you do about that, unless you're like Fiora? In reality, not much. So let's move on to the topic of how to play against her if this champion is not banned, which is hopefully not happening a lot of times. Keep in mind, what makes her so strong is her Hextech ultimatum. So luckily for you, you can counter this spell by just buying one specific enchantment, the Stasis enchantment. If you cast it fast enough, when she's ulting you, it will just cancel the ult and you just stand there and take no damage. However, her spell goes on cooldown. Another thing, especially for laning, is also her shield. Whenever you go for trades, always keep in mind that she gets an adaptive shield for 20% of her maximum HP, depending on what type of damage you deal. So if you want to trade her, be very careful doing so. So to sum it up for you, you want to avoid the second ability's sweet spot, you want to avoid her passive shield, you want to avoid her ultimate. Damn, that's quite a lot, so why not just ban her? With all that said, it's the perfect time to be called in our question of the day. What's your personal permaban? Let us know in the comments below. Next up comes a champion who has been the queen of the middle lane for quite a long time in the past. Then over the course of time, she has fallen into irrelevancy due to additions to the game and nerfs to her. However, she is well back and she is crazily strong. All thanks to one little item, Luden's Echo and its ability haste buff. So formerly known as a very heavily scaling champion who has very little damage on one item, she now actually has the capabilities of poking you out. So what makes this champion so strong? Did you ever try getting close to an Oriana, unless you have very heavy engage that's very fast? And if not, how did the story go for you? Because in actual reality, getting close to an Oriana is mostly connected to actually nearly dying. Because in actual reality, getting close to an Oriana isn't as easy as you think it is. While you're running towards her, she can just run away and throw a ball at your face until you die. Moreover, her leaving behind her ball in your way will basically stop you from any movement. You can view it as an invisible wall. But the question is, why so? Keep in mind, if you walk close to the wall, she can just instantly ult you, you get caught in CC, and then you just die. And even if you don't die, you'll most likely not be able to fight anymore. Another sweet thing about Oriana is also the circumstance that she can go even in any lane, if she wants to. There's nothing that really beats her up unless she makes a severe mistake. So if you're looking for a safe blind pick in the middle lane, you can pick up Oriana. Or if you're feeling a bit more spicy nowadays, you can also pick Oriana for the dragon lane in the AD carry position. Nonetheless, don't build her AD, build her normally like AP. But what happens if this champion isn't banned? There's one thing you have to always keep in mind. Don't just keep running at an Oriana unless you have the tools to lock her down. It's basically like chasing an Ezreal without any means of catching him. He will kill you, slowly but surely. In her case though, very fast. Next up comes a champion who's probably the most broken champion you can ask for, Brand. His damage is absolutely insane. If I were to make any connection with another champion, I'd say he's very similar to Ziggs, but Brand actually has to expose himself to risk. However, doing so grants him a lot of options to deal insane amount of damage. I mean, have you seen a full combo of this champion in a teamfight, especially around objectives or tight corridors? And if you haven't, well, let me tell you, if the enemy brand finds your entire team stacked up in a corridor or close to an objective, it's not a good time for your team. Most likely, they're just all going to die. On the bright side though, the brand will most likely die with them, but 1 for 5, I think that's worth it. So what do you do if this champion happens to go through draft? The number one thing would be, don't stack up. Don't stay close to your ally so his ultimate can bounce multiple times, and be very careful about the ground effects. You really don't want to get hit by his second ability if you're already ablaze. Other than that, pay close attention to his cooldowns. Similar to other mages, he is completely dependent on them, and if you catch him off guard with them down, he's just a free kill. But for example, for the competitive play, he's just way too strong to be left open. Coming right up is another fan favorite, the Lee Sin ban. Nobody likes to play against this champion because it's absolutely annoying. Thanks to his mobility, he can pull off the most obscene stuff and get away with it. Why? Well, cause he can. So it won't be really a rarity to see a mid laner die level 2, simply for the fact that he didn't pay attention that the enemy team picked Lee Sin. It sounds funny, it actually is sometimes, but it's also quite sad. And it's especially sad for your jungler then, because if a Lee Sin gets a lead, your jungler is not gonna have fun at any point of the game until Lee Sin decides to start griefing. So if there was any quality I'd assign to Lee Sin, it would be his snowballing capabilities. He wants to get things done and he wants to do them fast, from the very early stages of the game. If he doesn't succeed in doing so, he'll turn into basically a kind of useless minion. Nonetheless, if we are not able to place down the vision we need to play against him, we simply can't do anything in lane, because there's always this little risk of this guy dashing into your face and beating you up. So what do we do if this guy isn't banned? Well, number one, acquire vision so you can play the lane. Number 2, respect that vision, because if you don't, well, you're just dead. And number 3, please tell your teammates to be careful when you have any idea where this guy currently is, because maybe they're not paying attention, but you can help them out. Even if it works like only 2 out of 10 times, it's still 2 times where you saved your teammates. Oh, and did I mention that he's quite the broken Baron laner pick, so which means he's a flex pick and could annoy multiple lanes at once, not only in jungle? Yeah, that sounds quite good. Anyway, let's move on to Fiora. Yeah, I know, yet again a fan favorite because, well, it is still broken. Even though she got nerfed and Grass got nerfed, she's still obnoxious as ever, and we don't see any end to it. And you've also guessed right, this champion is also a flex pick. You may pick her in jungle, and you can pick her in Baron lane. But what makes this champion so unbelievably strong that it will always make his way back to the best bans or the best champions? It's quite simple. Her ability to kill you without you being able to do anything about it. Her first ability's range is absolutely unreal, and she can reliably proc it without anything you can do about it. Even better, the moment she hits at least level 3, she has access to all her spells, and even if you think about doing something, she can block it, because I think it was a really good idea giving her a spell that blocks everything, even Ignite, for a 13-second cooldown. So she can basically poke you down, and even if you try doing something about it, she'll just block it. And then she'll wait until it's up again, and she'll repeat the process until she can kill you. That sounds fun, right? Trust me, it's really not fun playing against the Fiora. Any Baron laner can agree, will agree, should agree. However, she is not the greatest of team fighters. So if you get the game into situations in which you can neutralize her side pressure, you're good to go. Other than that, like imagine she's not banned, there might be a few picks that are rather exotic, but they really work wonders against her. I'm gonna tell you 2. Number 1, Graves. Graves will absolutely demolish her. The only sketchy part is the level 1. However, there's another pick who completely wrecks Fiora. You'll maybe laugh a bit when you hear it, but it's Vayne. So how exactly does Vayne do well into Fiora? Well, remember the part where she uses her first ability to bully you? So what about you using your auto attack and your auto attack reset from your first ability as well and bully her even more? I know it's crazy, but it actually works. But it's not easy to pull off. You must be very confident in your skills with Vayne to do it. However, with Graves, it's so much easier. So if anything, start with Graves until you get some serious practice on the Vayne. And with all that information, we're at the end of today's video. Thank you all for watching, and if you like and subscribe to the channel, you're going to see more Challenger Wild Rift content soon. See ya!